Hello, my name's Rob Ainscough. I thought I'd start a series of quick tips to help you get the most out of Prepar3D version 4. This is going to be my first tip, and today's tip is about improving the quality of the shadows. As you know, Prepar3D has several types of or several selections of shadows. If we go into the display settings here under lighting, we have quite a few options under the shadow settings. We've got a shadow quality, and we have shadow draw distance, and then we have all the different types of shadows: cast and receive. For this particular test, I'm going to have most of them checked, with the exception of vegetation and particles. I'm going to have sim objects, buildings, clouds, terrain. For some third-party content, you want to check this. For some, you don't. Sometimes it can cause problems. Sometimes it works just fine. But for now, in this particular test, I'm going to leave that unchecked. And we don't need to do any dynamic lights because we're not testing dynamic lights. So let's just go ahead and try this out. I am running at 1920 by 1080. This is just for the purpose of doing the video. Normally I run at where is it? 3840 by 2160, since I'm running on a 4K monitor. But for testing purposes, I'm just going to leave it at 1080 so that people that don't have a 4K monitor can actually see what's going on with the font sizes, with the text and things like that, because if I ran at 4K, the text would just be too small. So for testing purposes, though, I'm going to leave the VSync off, triple buffer is off, and leave target frame rate to unlimited. I'm doing this so that you'll be able to see the difference in frame rate and how adjusting the shadows can impact the frame rate. Normally I would run this with VSync on, triple buffer at 4K resolution, but that would invalidate, not invalidate, but that would mask the FPS values, because VSync would be set to my monitor's refresh rate, and my monitor's refresh rate is 30 Hertz. So you would never see anything greater than 30 FPS with VSync enabled. So for testing, I always disable VSync, turn it off, triple buffering off, and set the frame rate to unlimited. This should basically provide the most that your GPU and CPU can give. With that, let's go ahead and get back into the simulator. Now I'm at KCLT, which is Charlotte, which is the FSDT version. If you noticed up top here, I have this is EVGA, and this is what they call OSD, which is on-screen displays. So that's running in the background, monitoring basically my GPU clock frequency and memory frequency. It's also monitoring my GPU temperature. And my GPU is a Titan X Pascal. This is showing you my GPU usage. And this is showing you memory usage is the actual GPU VRAM memory usage. As you can see, I'm at about 7.4 gigabytes. My Titan X has 12. So I'm within the limits of what the Titan X can do. Now, I am running the special tweak called texture size exp equal to 10, which will use up a lot of VRAM. But I'll save that discussion for another quick tip later on. So, and below that we have the CPU temperature, which is somewhere around 40 and 50 C. That'll probably go up a little bit as they start to fly. And down here in the lower left corner, I've got a frame rate counter. So let's go ahead. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at these shadows. here we have the aircraft shadow. You know, it doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit jagged here, but it's not terrible. And if we zoom out, you know, we can see the shadows from the jetways and shadows from the various vehicles. And they, you know, they look pretty good, but they could be better. And bear in mind that the shadow setting I'm currently operating at is ultra. So let's go ahead and fly around for a little bit so you can see how sometimes the shadows tend to shimmer a little bit. Let's just go ahead and get some altitude here. And now you can kind of see how the shadows are beginning to kind of morph and shimmer a bit along here, along there. They're kind of morphing and shimmering. Oh yeah, especially down here, it's very apparent. And you can actually make some adjustments to reduce this shimmering. And it does come at a performance penalty. That's why I got my performance frame rate counter here, so that can be, so you can see that. So let's go ahead and yeah, we can see all the jetways shimmering away there. So let's go ahead and land, and we'll exit Prepar3D, and I will take you to the section in the Prepar3D.cfg file where you can edit the settings that would give you slightly better resolution. I mean, better shadow quality. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so here we are back at the desktop, and we want to open up the Prepar3D.cfg file. I have a shortcut on my desktop here. This file is located in your, it'll be in your users, and whatever your username is, app data, roaming, Lockheed Martin, Prepar3D version 4 directory. And there's the file. So we'll go ahead and open this file. Now I'm using a tool called Ultra Edit, but I believe if you're running Notepad it should work just as well. There are some things to note about this file, and that's the format the file is in. This is DOS UTF-16. Yet you do not want to change this format to ANSI Latin. P3D might have problems reading this file if you do save it in a different format. So it's important to note that. You probably don't have to worry about it if you're using Notepad or a good text editor. It should know what file format you're using. So, and let's proceed to making the actual shadow adjustments here. If you scroll down in the graphics section, scroll down to, it's called opaque shadow texture size, and it should be a default value of 2048. Well, before you make any of these changes, it's probably a good idea that you back up this Prepar3D.cfg to some other file name. I often just call them Prepar3D_cfg.bak for backup. You should always do that before making any kind of changes. That way you can always restore back to something that you know worked. So let's go ahead and make these changes to the opaque shadow texture size. I'm going to bump this up to 8192. And for the translucent shadow texture size, I'm going to bump this up to 2048. And now for the opaque shadow draw distance. This one is going to be probably what causes you the most FPS drop, frame rate drop. So if you're going to play around with the value, this would be the one to play around with in terms of trying to come up with the best compromise of frame rates. I'm going to set this to 4,000, basically double it. And then we're going to go down to the translucent shadow draw distance. Interesting. Never noticed that before, but shadow actually has a 0W rather than an OW. Don't know if that's a bug or not, but let's go ahead and change this to 4,000. I'm going to leave the O as a 0 for now, but that's kind of curious. I may change that and see if it makes a difference. Anyway, back on topic. So you're basically doubling the distance, and you're increasing the texture map, the shadow map, to a higher resolution, which should give you crisper, higher quality shadows. So let's go ahead and save this and exit. Now this is an optional part, but I have a shortcut to the Prepar3D version 4 shaders. You can go ahead and delete this if you want to make sure you have a like clean slate. I also recommend deleting your shaders folder whenever you crash out of Prepar3D. If you CTD for whatever reason, because of a third-party add-on or because there's a problem with Prepar3D itself, it's good practice to make sure that you delete your shaders folder after that, just in case something got corrupted in it. And your shaders folder is located in your users, your username, app data, local, Lockheed Martin, Prepar3D version 4. If you don't see app data, because it's a system file, you can go into, you can go into view here, and you can select show, that's right, this show file name extensions and show hidden items. The app app data folder here is what they call a hidden item. So again, if you go to the view here, you check this and you check this, you should be able to see the app data folder. You don't actually need to do the extension part, but I like to see my actual file name extensions. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start Prepar3D now that we've modified our setting here. Alright, so we're in Prepar3D. I'm going to go ahead and load the scenario I saved. I'm going to sort by date. And there it is, the R66 at Charlotte. And hit OK. Okay, so here we are back into Sim again. This is with the new shadow settings, and as you can see, my GPU usage has gone up from about 70% to 99%, which is not good. So it's definitely, making these changes will impact your performance. So you're going to have to figure out what you prefer. Do you like nice crisp clear shadows, drawn further out, or are you okay with having shadows nice and crisp and clear but just close? So like I said, you're going to have to play with those settings to get your GPU usage and CPU usage down to a level that you like. And another thing to note here, you can also see that my memory usage went up from about 7.4 gigabytes to 10.4 gigabytes. So increasing the shadow maps to 8196 size, 8192 size, has had a toll on how much memory VRAM your usage is happening, in the order of almost 2 gigs. So that's something to be aware of, because if you bump above the amount of VRAM your graphics card has, then you'll run into all kinds of frame rate problems. So let's go ahead and continue. As you can see, the CPU is about the same, not affected by this setting. That was pretty much what I expected. So let's go ahead and just fly around and see, you know, how we perform. Our stationary FPS here has dropped a little bit down to 47. But let's go ahead and take off and see if we notice the difference. As you can see, as you get further higher up, the shadow quality remains fairly well intact. It doesn't shimmer nearly as much as it used to. It's much crisper, cleaner quality. And your distance setting will also govern how far away that quality is maintained. So as you can see, the higher we get here, this shadow quality is still pretty good with minimal flickering. Let's just go ahead and keep flying around here. Yeah, these aircraft are from UT Live, Ultimate Traffic Live. This is still what they consider a beta version, so it's not quite ready yet. But it has a few issues, but it's sort of working sometimes. But hopefully they can get sorted out soon. But as you can see, you know, especially the smaller vehicles, their shadow quality is quite a bit better. If you look down here, it's shimmering a lot less, and my frame rate hasn't suffered too much. But bear in mind, I am running this at 1080p, so if you plan on running this at a 4K resolution, you're going to notice more of a frame rate hit. But I thought I'd just share this little tip in case anybody's interested in using it. And it's, like I said, it's going to be a series of tips I plan on providing through video that can hopefully help people get the most out of the Prepar3D version 4. And so that's about it for this tip. And let's see if I can make a good landing here. not hitting vehicles. There we go. Boom. All right, so there is. That's the end of this quick tip for Prepar3D version 4. Feel free to experiment with those values. You can change them if you don't want 8192 for the shadow texture size. Change that to a lower value. 512, 1024, 2048, 4096, and 8192. Try and keep it within those values for whatever your experimentations might be. As far as the shadow distances, like I said, I'm not sure if 4000 is the furthest distance. It may actually go even further than that. But you'll just have to play with the values and see.